Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo.
Hey, Luke Ski.
What pre-recorded things do we have this week?
We have a pre-recorded interview with Carla Ulbrich and Brian Woodbury. We were supposed to have Carla on live this evening, but she's doing a live comedy club thing, and they changed the time on her at the last minute. So literally about a half an hour ago, I recorded an interview with her. So we'll have that coming up in the show. Welcome to episode, what the hell number is this? 521 of the Funny Music Podcast for June 11th, 2020.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
I don't know. Having kind of a down week. Still taking my drawing lessons and getting help from other friends like Katie and Kyle, and I just have a long way to go, or at least it feels that way to me. Katie thinks I'm on the verge of having a breakthrough, and I'm just, trying to. Sometimes it's hard to keep moving forward when you feel like you haven't been moving at all for years. So, anyway, there's that. I went to get a dental appointment yesterday morning because part of an old filling of mine came out of one of my teeth, and the little space that was left had a sharp edge on it, and I kept cutting my tongue. Plus,
Ouch.
one of the previous, I don't think it's a crown, but it's, something along the same lines. I had one of those root canals I had back in January. When they filled everything back in, they kind of left a larger hole there than they should have on the inside of the mouth, kind of like my tooth has the top end of a Lego, like one of the little divots or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like that's how it feels to my tongue, like there's too much space there and food keeps getting caught in it. So I went back to the endodontist to have this appointment just because it's like, well, they did the one thing, hopefully they'll make the change without charging me a huge amount of money. So since insurance covered it, they did a whole set of x-rays, and the upside of that is being able to, they looked at the stuff that I had done before, and they said that it's all healing up. The part that was causing me pain is looks better than it did before, so that's good. And I'm not feeling any pain right now, but they basically said that if they're going to do work on this one tooth that has the sharp thing on it, that they kind of felt that tooth, I mean, I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying that they're an endodontist place, so I kind of feel like it's a case of when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So it's kind of like they looked at the tooth and they're like, oh, well, that tooth needs to get a root canal done, and you should get the crown on it. And a lot of my teeth at this point should probably get crowns on them because they're so full of fillings in them and stuff. Like some of them have silver fillings in the back of my mouth, and it's basically they're more filling now than they are real teeth, so it would make sense for me to get crowns on all of them, but I've just basically not been wanting to do that. And so for them saying for this one tooth, oh, then you should probably just go ahead and we can root canal this and you can get a crown for it, and it costs a little bit extra out of your pocket if you want to make it a porcelain veneer type of thing. So that's I talked with my mom about it just to make sure I have financial backup in case I can't cover it myself. This particular one I can cover myself, but the point is that they were talking about making a forecast plan for me for the future of me going through and having a whole lot of my teeth either getting a root canal or not, and or getting crowns put on them or not, just to it's like, while I'm still as young as I am and can and I'm healthy and I can recover fairly quickly, or at least better than I would if I was much older, I should be taking care of this stuff now. So it's just kind of like I've dental issues have been a thing with me since my college years, and it's a part of my life I'm not proud of, and I don't like to think about it. And Carrie was there for a lot of it back when she and I were dating. She saw all the problems I was dealing with back then. Um, but it's just time for me to do what I know I need to do, and it's gonna suck. And I know everyone hates going to the dentist, but it's just kind of like I was hoping that I was going to get to this point where I could just my teeth would be fine for a long period of time and I wouldn't have to worry about them anymore. And it's just like, fuck, maybe going through this over the next 2 or 3 years will finally actually get to the point where I can leave them alone for a long period of time. So, so that plus me trying to be me feeling discouraged about my art abilities and trying to pick myself up from that, plus everything else happening on planet Earth is basically my mood this week. So hope things have been better for you.
Oh, about the same. Although I'm surprised to hear you say that about your artwork, because I saw the stuff that you posted with your, like the 4th version of DN, and I thought it was really good. All of that stuff. I mean, it looks like these lessons are paying off, because I mean those drawings were substantially better than the first round that you posted. I mean, there was a noticeable improvement there.
Yeah, Kyle did a really nice thing and did a whole bunch of drawovers of that set of DN drawings, where he basically pointed out the things I was doing wrong, and also things that I did right, poses that he thought were really good. So it wasn't like he was, dumping on me,
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, he's genuinely trying to help me. It was just kind of like, it's like thinking like, yeah, I'm getting somewhere, and then being pointed out like, oh, here's all the specific things I'm getting wrong, and then seeing that and seeing, yeah, I am getting those wrong. And it's it's like the friggin' My Fair Lady musical, where like suddenly she has that moment where she gets it, like the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. It's like I'm still waiting for that moment where I suddenly get it,
Mm-hmm.
not even be perfect, but just get it. And it's I am feeling discouraged. And Kyle and Katie and Rich, they all believe in me, and all my friends and loved ones all believe me, and I'm trying to hold on to that and have that not make me want to stop. So it's just hard. My struggles in that lead, are it can safely be said that most of my struggles with that come from a lack of specific education in what a person who's doing artist for the animation industry, like a specific set of skills that a person should have, whether they're an animator or a storyboard artist, or anything involving the characters. Like there's certain things I should have learned in some form of formal training in college or anywhere else, and I never got it. And I'm trying to get it now with Rich Aarons. So I just feel foolish because I'm like 30 years too late to this, to this epiphany that I'm trying to reach. So I'm just trying to stay positive and get back my happiness so that I can, it's like the show idea I have for this DN character and her co-lead, who is a guy character who I haven't named yet. I was going to name him Cal, but then I thought people might think I'm referencing Cal Arts, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to do that then, because, so I'll figure it out later. But I kind of know what I want him to look like too, but I wanted to get DN mostly figured out before I moved on to him, because I need her to be, she's going to be, sort of the titular character of the show, and the whole hook of what the show's about centers around her. So I needed to get her right first and then move on to the guy. So, and there's going to be lots of other characters on the show too, but those two are like the focus of the show. And I'm trying to get that figured out and use working on that character and that character design as, the thing I'm doing that at least for the past few weeks, me and Rich have been mainly focusing our lessons on these drawings I'm doing of her, because I have had problems drawing humans my whole life, because my cartooning style that I, accidentally developed usually involved, wrong proportions, mainly when it came to like torso versus arms and legs and head. and making things the wrong size. And I've come to the conclusion with my drawing style that making the heads slightly larger than they should be, like that's just part of my style. I'm okay with keeping that part, and at least now I'm conscious of it, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that the torso to arms and legs makes sense, because I am trying to do a show with relatively human-looking humans. There is going to be cartoony fun aspects to this show, but I want the base foundation of the show of the look and the humans and the world they live in, which is pretty much just going to be regular old Earth. I'm trying to get all that figured out. So anyway, I really appreciate your support and everybody's support and the positive feedback. I mean, I do want criticism. I do want people to tell me when they think something looks off. And sometimes I'll do something, and after I get it completely done and posted, I'll look and I'm like, oh crap, I messed that up. Like that one drawing of Deanne, the version 4, I realized that her left leg should have been, like I should have highlighted it and stretched it out a little bit more so that the heel on the back of her left foot lined up with the heel on her right foot. It's like little things like that. It seems like something so small, but it makes such a world of difference. And these are the things I'm trying to train myself to catch at the time I'm doing them and not see that after the fact. So
there was actually something I was going to say about one of your drawings, and I couldn't think of a way to do it without like copying the drawing down, tracing over it, and showing you what I wanted to explain, and then re-uploading it. And I didn't have the time to do that at the time I thought of it. So if I think of it later, I'll tell you what it has to do with the balance of the character, because one of the drawings she looked off balance.
That was one of the things that Kyle pointed out a lot. One of the things I need to work on is when drawing poses is the notion of if this is a normal human occupying normal space and standing on the ground or jumping in the air or doing whatever, it's like especially or just let's just say standing on the ground, the position of the feet compared to the position of where the rest of the body is and the center of gravity and the pelvis, it's like that's a thing I need work on. So
yeah, generally what you can do this is what I was going to draw, is you can draw a line from one heel to the opposite ear depending on the angle, or both heels to both ears, and they need to line up. That's how you can tell that a character is balanced. Otherwise they're leaning one way or the other.
Yeah. So something else, as long as it's for a couple of seconds here still,
welcome to art with Luke and Devo. Yeah.
Well, I want to move on to your part of the show and the rest of the show. But, okay, so I got a new computer, and I got the new computer a few weeks ago, but I've been meaning to send my laptop, my MacBook, off to get repaired because the middle row of keys has been malfunctioning for a long time, and I finally I called Apple. They sent me a box to ship it in, and I'm just now finishing up the last bits of detail before I, put it in the box and send it or go to FedEx and drop it off to be shipped off and get fixed. So just to be on the safe side, in case I, very luckily, get a job offer, I got Storyboard Pro 7. I upgraded to the new version and put it on my new computer, which is my home PC. And I managed to hook up my Wacom tablet to the home PC. So I have Storyboard Pro and Photoshop both on the new PC. So if I get any work, I don't have any interruption to my workflow, which is great. And I'm probably going to just use this PC from now on, for my main jut of work anyway, and keep my laptop mainly for, the mobile stuff, and obviously for the stuff we do at MarsCon and FuMPFest. So part of that is this home PC, I needed to get a webcam for it. That's a separate thing. So I got one, and it was relatively cheap. I might get a better one because I think this one's only like $720, and I figure I might as well get I didn't realize that at the time I ordered it, but I should probably get a better one that's like a 1080 and probably has a better microphone on it for the sake of if this is going to be the regular.
Better microphone is a plus in my book.
Yeah. So the point is that where I'm sitting right now is pretty much where is the shot of me you're going to be seeing on most of these FuMPcasts. And, if you could see the rest of my apartment, you could see the decor and how it all makes sense. But just from this angle, all everybody is basically seeing behind me is the bottom half of Vamber.
Yeah.
So and a shelf over there that you can't really tell what's up there, just some action figures and whatever. But the way I have things set up right now, I like it because if taking the laptop out of the way, there's plenty of room. Like, I got a kitty right here.
Hi, kitty.
Because Qbert loves to be near me when I'm working on stuff. So now that laptop's out of the way, there's a nice big old open space here for Qbert to sprawl out and be near Daddy while I do stuff. So, and I have the Cintiq is here parallel to the wall, and the camera is kind of 45-degree angle to the wall, and I'm facing it, and my keyboard's right here. So the point is that, I just feel like it's this, like, it's been bugging me for a while, like the fact that the bottom half of Amber is behind me, like, it's like the Jungle Cruise Disneyland. Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom half of Amber, so it's like, I don't know. I just felt like it's a weird elephant in the room thing that's been bugging me. And it's like, I just want to address, like, yes, it's the bottom half of Amber. It makes sense if you see the rest of my room. If it's too visually distracting, I can, get my green screen and cover it up or whatever. But, it's just the way things are laid out here. So I hope people don't think that, like, I'm some sort of, weird curve because I have, leotards girl, directly behind me in every one of my friggin' video podcasts. So I don't know. These are the type of things that Neurotic Luke worries about.
Neurotica.
Yeah. So what have you been doing, Devo?
I'm working on the FuMP. I basically spent all of last weekend working on the store. I had a major update to the store at the FuMP, which I'll talk about more in the news. And the other thing I did was I realized there's a whole bunch of people doing live streams of comedy music at different times during the week, and I kept missing them because I kept forgetting about them. So I decided to put together I'm trying to make it a comprehensive list of all the comedy musicians who are doing live shows of one kind or another. So I've come up with a brief list, and I'm going to make this a resource available on the FuMP, and I might even make it so that, like, there's an alert that comes out like, hey, so-and-so is broadcasting live right now. Click here to watch. So what I've got right now is Lauren Mayer every other Sunday at 7. Tuesday nights at 7, Mikey Mason does Smarty Pants Trivia. That's not comedy music, but it's Mikey Mason, so I figured I'd put it. And also on Tuesdays at 8:15, Rob Paravonian does Cover Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, Mark Gunn does Coffee with the Celt Father at 11 a.m. Once a month, on the first Thursday of the month, Mark Gunn does the Celt Father live. Every Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. is Psycho Stick Cabin Fever Concerts. Thursday night at 9 p.m., these times are all Eastern, is the FuMPCast, which is us right now. Friday nights at 7:30 is Carla Ulbrich. Friday nights at 9 p.m. is Escape from the Secret Lab with Dr. Pinkerton. Saturday nights at 7:30 is the Odd Rock Comedy Hour with Rob Paravonian. And that's all I got. Steve Goody is no longer doing their weekly shows. They were just doing that for April and May. They may start it up again, but right now they're not doing it. So if anyone knows of any other show featuring comedy musicians, send them to me. I will add them to this list, and then I'm going to find some way to, make a resource like a TV guide or a DV guide, a dementia video guide or something. I'll even make a little DV guide logo and get sued by a publication that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, I'm going to put that up on the FuMP with links and information and stuff like that. So yeah, if anyone has any other ones, feel free to send them to me and I will add them to the list. And yeah, so that's about it. And people from Dementia Radio, if you think I should list the live Dementia Radio shows on this list, let me know, and I will be happy to list them. I just need an updated list of who is broadcasting when, because I don't think the schedule that's up on the website is up to date. All right, so that's that. Let's get into our first song and first interview. So our first song of the week is Take Me Out to the Overpriced Ballgame by Carla Ulbrich.
Take me out to the overpriced ballgame. good seats. They should all be ashamed, 'cause it's $300 and they're not even watching the game. Drag him out on the ball field with a torn ACL. Management says that he'll be all right. He can't sit out on his bobblehead night, so it's shoot him with cortisone. If he won't heal, then we'll trade. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3 Tommy Johns and right back into the game.
That was the 15th RBI for Cespedes. Speaking of 15, if you have 15 minutes or less, you can save on your car insurance. Cinderguard is in a tight spot. And if you're in a tight spot, you can lose up to 20 pounds in your first month with Nutrisystem. Familia is painting the corners. And if you need to paint corners, Home Depot has everything you need. That was the sweet play of the game. And speaking of sweet, remember Dad this Father's Day with a Pudgy the Whale ice cream cake. Conforto is batting cleanup tonight. And when you need the cleanup, Lysol kills 99.9% of all household germs, including MRSA. And DeGrom strikes him out with a slider. You want to talk about sliders, Gary? Have you tried the new breakfast slider at Taco Bell?
I went broke at the ball game. $40 just to park. I can't find peanuts or Cracker Jack. Just calamari, steak, cognac, with their souvenirs and concessions. And the rights to the name. Oh, it's milk, every last buck from the old ball game.
I'm here with Carla Ulbrich. How you doing, Carla?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Always good to be here.
We were planning on having Carla join us live this evening, and then all of a sudden she had a gig that they moved up on her, so it conflicts with the FuMPCast. So
Yep, same time. 24 hours in a day, and everybody wanted the same half hour.
yeah. So tell us about this overpriced ball game of yours.
If only it were my ball game, I could change it. So this was written, about a year and a half ago, back when there were still baseball games and they could still overcharge you. And they're still overcharging us, though, I must say. I still have cable TV, and I get charged an $8.75 regional sports fee every month for reruns of old games. I mean, they don't have any live action. They could at least put up some kids playing tiddlywinks or something. There's no live sports happening that I can tell. And yet we're still getting charged. And then, like, now they want to do this thing where they're going to start games in July and they're not going to have fans in the stands. And that means they're not going to make as much money. So now the owners want the players to take a pay cut. They just take any opportunity to overcharge the fans and try to cut the pay of the ball players. And to most of the owners, I won't say to all of them because the Yankees aren't like this. They're still about the baseball. They're still about the sport. But most of the people who own baseball teams in 2020 in America, which is where most baseball teams are, as far as major leagues, most of the owners just look at it as the baseball thing as another thing in their investment portfolio, like a stock.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it's doing well, they just skim off all the profits. And then when it's not doing well, they want to, ream the players and the fans. And so anyway, all the stuff in here, I've found out since I put the song out that I shouldn't have done what I did by naming actual products. Because I took all the baseball announcer stuff that you hear in there is actually stuff that they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they turn everything into a commercial,
Yeah.
They're at first base. And speaking of first base, it's just like, and speaking of this and speaking of that, and they always into a commercial at every possible opportunity. It's like there's more commercials than there are plays, and it's nuts. So yeah, baseball has gotten just super, super commercial and away from. It's so detracting from the sport. of all that. And then $8 for a bag of peanuts. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were going to post this song because you were originally supposed to post this back when what was going to be opening day.
Right.
And then the coronavirus hit and they pushed back opening day. So you pushed back posting the song, and then you posted another song. And then this slot came around and I was like, I wonder if Carla's actually going to post the baseball song because I don't know if they're playing baseball yet. And
They might be playing in a few weeks. I think they'll be playing. There is some baseball. Actually, I saw something on Twitter today. There's some baseball in, I think, Korea. So I take back what I said a minute ago. There are some. They're not Major League as in playing in the World Series, and apparently the World Series isn't meant to mean the whole world. It was named after some newspaper called The World, which is why it's a misnomer to have the World Series.
oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a baseball game.
I just thought it was baseball being egomaniacal, you know?
Yeah, right. How we have Miss Universe and yet
Yeah.
there's no place. Yeah, that. So yeah, I thought it was egomaniacal too, but it's actually just a very misleading name that was named after a newspaper called The World. So anyway, Korea is now having this is a new twist. Just saw this morning. They're having baseball games and they're putting stuffed animals in the seats.
Well, it's better than inflatable sex dolls because I know one team did that.
Oh my God. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, in this case, SpongeBob was in the front row, and I'm all about that.
Oh, that's great.
So why? Because he's ready.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I decided to go ahead and put it out. Baseball's coming. They're still being all about the money, and they're still being just as whatever corporate as they ever were, the owners. Although we will not have the experiences described in this song of going there and overpaying for everything because we're not going there.
Yes.
At least not in July.
Well, I mean, they're opening everything up anyway. I mean, have you heard the pandemic's over? You know, it's just
Yeah, people still dying, but it doesn't count now because
people are dying. People are going to get sick. You know, whatever. It's just the price of doing business now. You know.
Yeah, die for the Dow. The song I should have written. But you know, it's so weird. You can't keep up. Like every week, there's something even crazier than last week.
I know.
By
This
the
year
time
has been
you put out
insane.
by the time you put out your song about the pandemic, people have moved on to the next topic.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So yeah, I mean, my baseball song, I recorded it last summer, and I only put out the album. You know, I only had hard copies in hand in February. And then, of course, everything hit in late March, and just as I was launching the album, and I don't know. So the song was going to be it just got swallowed by everything else. But I will put it out anyway because we'll just call this one of those songs that's from the before times.
Yes. And it will be relevant again, you know, in future years. So.
Yeah, they're not changing their tune.
No. So this is from the Loud album.
Yes.
Which was a very good album. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Had a good time making it.
Yes. So tell us about the two albums you have out.
So I put the Loud album out at the end of March, middle of April, somewhere around there. You know, I officially released it to radio in April. I was going to put it out April 1st on April Fool's Day, and then I was like, oh, I can't put out funny music during the pandemic. And then it was like, oh, people need this. They need to be able to laugh. And then it got really dark, and it was like, we shouldn't be like. Anyway, the Loud album has this sort of nebulous release date of around April Fool's Day, and we recorded most of it last summer. Me and Steve Goody, we did most of the heavy lifting at his studio in Nashville, and then when the pandemic hit, I do when I'm under a lot of stress, I usually get super creative. So I wrote and recorded at home an entire album about pandemic stuff called Inside Jokes, because all the jokes are inside now. And I released it at first digital only, but I am getting some hard copies made for my hardcore CD loving fans. So I went ahead and got some hard copies made. They haven't shown up yet, but yeah, that one I did the whole thing start to finish in about 6 weeks of writing it and recording it and putting it out.
Wow, you've been productive.
I've never done an album that fast before. But that's what I do when I'm under pressure is I just retreat into my creative bubble and sublimate, as the psychologists call it, when you take your angst and turn it into art. But it's not an angsty album. It's all humor. It's 11 tracks. There's 9 songs, and then 2 of them I have two versions of. One of them, there's like the electric version of Everybody's on Zoom, and then there's the acoustic version of Everybody's on Zoom. Because with the Loud album, a lot of the folk DJs were like, "Oh, I love the songs, but it's too electrified." Yeah, it's, you know. And
Yeah.
I was just following my muse when I was in the studio. I wasn't really thinking about, you know, what are the DJs going to think of this? Or what's my demographic going to think of this? I was just like, this song needs this. So I get that way sometimes, a little more whimsical than I am practical as far as, you know, how to produce something. I wasn't really thinking about the market and who it was going to. I was just thinking about what was making me happy at that moment for the way that song sounded. So following my bliss. But I purposely made Inside Jokes more acoustic for 2 reasons. One is it's just me. Me sitting here with an egg shaker and a tambourine. I don't have a full drum kit. I do have a full drum kit, but I can't play it. Here's the extent of my drum playing. Okay, that's it.
That's all you need is a rim shot. You're doing comedy.
Exactly. That's what it's there for. It's for my jokes. But the whole rest of the kit, I don't play it. So it was, you know, kind of, you don't really want to electrify unless you have a whole drum kit happening. So there's 2 versions. The other song was "Sit on Your Ass," and my person who advises me on radio stuff told me, you know, you should really make it sit on your butt because you can't say ass on the air. So ass. Okay, we can on the FuMPCast.
You can say whatever you want on the FuMPCast.
All right, fucking A. So, yeah, ass. Sit on your ass.
Awesome.
So those are my
So
2 albums. That's what I've been up to. You know, I wait 4 years and then in between albums and then bang, 2 albums.
yeah, I did that too. I'm kind of
Yeah.
regretting it, but yeah, I put out 2 albums in 2014. Of course, one of them was supposed to be out in 2013. So
It's hard to do everything properly.
yeah. So where can people go to find these lovely new albums?
I'd say Bandcamp. You can either go to carlau.com. That's the easiest thing because then you don't have to remember how to spell anything. And then you'll just get pointed to Bandcamp. Or if you want the big spelling bee challenge and you want to spell carlaulbrich.bandcamp.com, then that's where they are.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck on the live comedy show you're doing tonight.
Thank you. I'm sure it'll be fun.
And we will
I've got
catch
some
you
white
next time.
supremacy jokes.
This is the FuMP.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse.
Dr. Fauci, bring us good news. Give us relief for this pandemic blues.
Wash your hands. It's not that hard to avoid groups and stay 6 feet apart. It's not just about you. It's a damn pandemic. All we're asking you is, don't be a dick.
It's like we're playing Minecraft and we're stuck in the nether. We'll get out whenever.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Everything is canceled. Everything is closed because we're all quarantined. Everything is canceled because of COVID-19.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Needlejuice Records has put out a Black Lives Matter compilation. It's not a compilation of music by African-American artists or anything like that. It's just a compilation of music by Needlejuice artists, mostly Smashy Claw and Nuclear Bubble Wrap. But 100% of the proceeds from the sales of this compilation will go to Black Lives Matter. Needlejuice co-founders Austin and Jace have compiled a retrospective of their musical careers, including sneak peeks at new projects. We believe these selections showcase the founding musicians' range and musical songwriting styles. We hope you like it. If not, it's for a swell cause. So you can pick up this album, or this compilation, at needlejuice.bandcamp.com. God damn it. I thought I had fixed that. Apparently I'm soft again. Am I soft to you, Luke?
Not to me.
Not to you. I thought that was a Zoom setting, and I thought I just turned that off. Oh, well. The FuMP is now offering a free CD when you sign up for a level 2 subscription. This is a archive CD of one of our previous FuMP compilations. You can choose it yourself, or you can let me choose one at random. This offer is good to new subscribers or people who haven't been a subscriber for 2 years. So if you want to come back to us, sign up at level 2, and you'll get the current CD plus an older CD, either of your choosing or of my choosing, whichever you prefer. The Ninja Sex Party tribute album has reached its goal. I can't remember if it reached its goal last week or not. I think it did. But the current tally is $2,110 of their $1,750 goal. There are 5 days left, so there's still a little bit of time to get in on this. Go to Indiegogo.com, look for Ninja Sex Party tribute album, and help them out. And I pushed some updates to thefump.com. You may have noticed I reworked the header with the nav bar at the top. This was to put the home tab back in, because I originally removed the home tab when I put the subscribers tab, the subscription tab in there, because there just wasn't room for it. But then I wanted to add the news tab back in, and because I put up the news page, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to make room. So I kind of rearranged things a little bit. I moved the logo up and to the center, so that gave me the entire area at the top for the tabs. So now we have a news page again. So if you're looking for some news, you can find it there. But the big update to the FuMP was the store. The previous store page I always felt was kind of useless, because it was just like a big pile of releases in no particular order. I mean, it was in like reverse chronological order, but it was really hard to find anything if you were looking for something. So now I've added a filter to the left-hand side. So by default, it shows you the 12 latest releases on the FuMP. And then you can select FuMP compilations, FuMPfest merchandise. You can drill down into the artist and pick any one artist and view their releases. You can search for just t-shirts and merchandise, or you can show all the releases at once. And if that's not enough, you can now search the store. This is a separate search from the search on the rest of the site. This will search the album title, the artist, or the song title. So this is really helpful if you're looking for, that one album that has that one song on it. If you can figure out which album has the Whitney Avalon, song on it, you can just search for Whitney Avalon, or you can search for the title of the song, and it'll come right up. So I think it's going to be much more useful for people buying things in the store.
Excellent work.
Thank you. If anyone has any other suggestions for things that we should do on the website at the FuMP, let me know. Pass them on to me. I have one more thing I want to do to the store, and then I'm probably going to set this aside and move on to other projects in my life. All right. That's all I got before tour dates. You got anything?
Yes. I was just about to plug something, and I realized I don't have the URL. There it is. Okay, so excuse me. Just posted this week the podcast that is hosted by my friends Kiki Cannon and JP Tuesday, called Rewatching the Magic, which is all about them rewatching films from Disney, both animated and otherwise, depending on what they're feeling like that week. Has a new episode, and I appear in it as a special guest. So episode 29 is all about the 2007 film Meet the Robinsons, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney animated films. So go to rewatchingthemagic.podbean.com, and you can hear episode 29. So there's that. I wanted to mention that Carrie's Dr. Fauci video at the FuMP YouTube page is up to 198,000 views as of today.
Oh, so close.
So we're less than 2,000 views away from crossing the 200,000 view mark. So everyone go share that and watch it one more time. And just because I want to start mentioning this once a month, approximately, I just want to mention, in case anybody out there is a new listener and makes comedy music and is interested in sending your music to the Dr. Demento Show, here's how you can do that. One way is to send an email to Dr. Demento at drdemento.com. That's DRDEMENTO, Dr. Demento at drdemento.com, and attach a sound file of the song you want to send, or include an online link to the download. Or include an online link to download the sound file or the album. You can also mail physical CDs, vinyl, USBs, etc. to Dr. Demento. That would be Dr.Demento at P.O. Box 6106, Lakewood, California, 90714. And a little note from Dr. D says, I'm always happy to listen to original funny songs or parodies. I get quite a few each week and play the best ones on the air. If there are more than 4 songs in what you're sending him, more than 4 songs, please indicate which ones you feel are most appropriate for the show. Allow some time as I listen to each one personally. So yeah, that's how you can do it. And if you would like to listen to the Dr. Demento Show, you can, of course, do that at drdemento.com. He has a new episode up every week and thousands in the archive. So there we go.
All right. Tour dates. Wednesdays online, Mark Gunn. Thursdays online, Steve Goody and Psycho Stick. Fridays online, Carla Ulbrich and Escape from the Secret Lab. And I wanted to mention, coming up in a future episode of Escape from the Secret Lab, next Friday the 19th, not tomorrow, next Friday, is Bad Beth and Beyond. And then July 3rd will be Undercover Fun Time. So got a couple comedy acts coming to the Secret Lab. So that should be fun. Birthdays. This is a new one to the list, so it's a couple days late, but happy birthday to Jessica Delfino. Her birthday was on the 8th. All right.
And I'll just mention my brother Michael Sinkowski, who many of you know, his birthday was on the 9th.
All right. Happy birthday, Mike. All right. So here is our second song of the week, followed by an interview with Brian Woodbury. Here is Ava's Couch.
Kicked me out cause I wasn't paying rent, and my student loan defaulted, and my vouchers all got spent. Started crashing with my buddies, wound up sleeping on the floor. I got bored of smoking all their weed and playing PS4. Then a couple weeks with Matthew, but that dude's a total slob. He kept running out of groceries, he kept saying get a job. My life was going nowhere, man, I thought my luck was through. But then my dreams came true, right when I surfed onto Ava's Couch. I'm so pumped up, this is rad. Though she doesn't know how much I want her, I'm crushing on her bad. I'm sitting pretty on Ava's couch, and I'm just biding my sweet time to cook up. How we'll hook up, hey Matt, how about that? I'm no slouch on Ava's couch. On Ava's couch. I've had my eye on Ava back since San Diego State. She'd come crying on my shoulder about the guy she used to date. She says that I can crash here till my internship comes in, so either way I win. My slickest move has been Ava's couch. Now if only I could score, but I wonder if she wants to do me or wants to rue me more. But still I'm here, I'm on Ava's couch. I hope she's picking up the signs I'm showing, but she's going, could you move your hacky sack pouch on Ava's couch? On Ava's couch. I want her to be my girlfriend, taking her to Olive Garden, handing her a rose. But she wants me to be her girlfriend, watching Gilmore Girls and eating Honey Nut Cheerios. Why did I surf onto Ava's couch? She's asking me to feed her cat while she's going out to grab a bite with, spend the night with Matt. Seriously, Matt? How'd I end up on Ava's couch? Bet she's already set her mind to boot me. Oh, just shoot me. She calls me her BFF. Ouch! On Ava's couch. On Ava's couch. On Ava's couch.
All right, I'm here with Brian Woodbury. How you doing, Brian?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you, Tom?
That is your name, right? I just realized I may have screwed it up.
It is my name.
Okay, awesome.
So far, so good.
I don't have my notes in front of me. So since this is your first time on the show, why don't we get to know you, who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm from Los Angeles. I have been songwriting for a very long time. I've done a lot of comedy stuff, but a lot of not comedy stuff, a lot of deadly serious stuff. I've done lots of TV, kids show songs, and kind of some arty stuff and just all kinds of things.
So you've done songs like for kid shows?
Yeah. I used to write for a couple of Disney shows. About 15 years ago, I wrote a lot of stuff for a bunch of Disney shows and stuff.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell us about Ava's Couch.
Ava's Couch, it's a song I wrote with my friend Bill Berry. The line just came to me sometime, just the whole idea of couch surfing. And then, we thought you should make it into a surf song because it's couch surfing. And I mean, it was kind of, we didn't want to be too mean about the song, but it's a pathetic character.
Right.
And so, we just tried to keep it, that line between, evil and humorous.
Yes. So yeah, I'm glad you didn't go full incel at least.
Let's see who. There's my longtime collaborator Mark Muller did a lot of the guitar and a lot of the guitar arrangements on the tune. So
I was going to ask you about the music. Do you do that yourself, or do you work with other people?
It depends, but I often have other people play. Like if it's hard, I'll have someone who's like a better musician than me play the guitar parts. But it all varies. I just put out this album full of, it's my first album that is devoted to comedy songs. So there's a lot of different stuff on there. So it's not all sort of guitar based. It's some of it's like got violins and vibes and accordions and whatnot. So
sure.
But I often work with other musicians because I play the bass and I play keyboards and rudimentary guitar, so I like to work with people who can do it really well.
Okay. So is Ava's Couch inspired at all by a true story or anything?
No, it's not really. No.
Okay.
Although I'm sure there are true stories that approach that.
Yeah, there are, I'm sure. So tell us about the album. I'm excited about that.
Okay, well, the album's called Levity and Novelty, and there are 27 tracks on it. Some of them are very short. It's a wide variety of stuff. There's like little songs that are just like there's a song called The Worst Song on the Album, which is only less than 30 seconds long, and it just kind of like a black metal. The worst song on the album.
See, now I'm into that stuff. That might be my favorite song on the album. I'm gonna have to listen and find out.
Well, because there always is a worst song on every album.
Yeah.
And so, so it's the worst song on the album. There always has to be one. But it's let's see, what else is there? Oh, there's a homage send up of prog rock. That's like an 8-minute song of every prog rock cliche that you've ever heard. It's called "Give Me Some of That Old Time Prog," and so
nice.
it's but there's just a wide variety of stuff. It's largely a bunch of it is sort of inspired by Tom Lehrer. So there's a lot of a lot of wordplay and a lot of Tom Lehrer was actually way back when I was in college. He was my professor. So
no way. That's awesome.
I got to know him pretty well, and when I was just I was writing songs then too, but he sort of helped me. I would bring some songs to him, and he would give me some critiques, and he sort of was a teacher of mine in that way. But he taught other things too. So
That's awesome. You had him for mathematics, I assume?
I had him for a math for dummies class, and then
Okay.
there was like a musical theater class that he taught, which was
Oh, really?
great
I didn't know he
fun.
taught that
where
as well.
it was amazing. We would do like staged readings of classic, musical theater stuff. So it was fun.
That sounds like it was awesome.
Yeah, he's he's hilarious, and he's still sharp as a pin. I saw him last year, and he's a bright and funny guy.
Yeah, no, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So is the album just released under your name, or is there a group name?
It's just under my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of one-man comedy bands in this whole comedy music scene of ours. So.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to go. Yeah. It's good, it's a one-man thing, but there's a lot of people on it because every song, has to have some sort of some fun little instrument or some fun musical thing to keep the variety, keep it varied and sparkling. And
yeah, cool, awesome. Yeah, I will definitely check this album out because I'm always looking for stuff to play on my other podcast. So
oh great. Good.
So where do you get your inspiration?
Oh, that old question.
Yes. As you can tell, I'm not a very good interviewer, so
I'll tell you. Half the time it's particularly for stuff like this. It's and it's you're probably the same way. You hear a song that's either like a serious song, usually a serious song, or not a non-comedy song, and you think, oh, that's ridiculous. I should write a song kind of making fun of that or inspired by that. I don't know. I have a file on my computer of just lines, first lines for songs. So I have I've got many songs that I could write just based on those lines. So I just, if when they occur to me, I write them down, and eventually I get to them. I don't do much topical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of topical stuff on FuMP, and
well, right now it's all COVID stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I always, I hardly ever do anything like super topical, just because it takes me so long to finish where I feel like the song is done.
Mm-hmm.
that by that time whatever the event is that I would be writing about would be old news. So
yeah, it's hit or miss with the stuff on the FuMP. It's we do have some artists who do a lot of topical stuff, and I generally don't. But then again, I did a song about the coronavirus a couple of months ago, and I actually have an idea for another one that's very topical.
Yeah, well, if it occurs to you, it's you sort of have to kind of follow that muse, because
and then I have another song I want to record, but it requires getting a group of people together to record them shouting, and of course you can't get people together right now, so I don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's not topical, at least, so if that goes out for another year or so, so be it.
That's right. So we're hoping for the COVID pandemic to last just long enough so that we can finish these particular songs.
Right. Get all the songs out of our system, and
then they can come up with a vaccine. That's fine.
Then the pandemic can go away.
That's right. You mentioned something else, and it just occurred to me. Well, I can't remember it now.
That's okay. We're talking about topical songs and not topical songs, and I don't know. So what do you have going on in the future? What's coming up for you?
Well, this project, the comedy album was part of, is I have a four album project that I'm working on this year.
Ambitious.
Yeah. So the first one was the comedy songs. The second one is sort of the personal, singer-songwriter, confessional story songs, and then the third one is political songs, and the fourth one is just kind of more arty experimental songs. So So that's what I'm working on. They're supposed to come out every 3 months, but because of the lockdown, things were sort of delayed a bit. But I'm putting the next one comes out July 1st, and then another one, then the one after that comes out hopefully November 1st. So.
Are you working on them like individually, or are you like bouncing around like from comedy song to experimental to political? Or
I'm working on them in a big chunk. So I worked on the comedy one for a long time, and it's not to say that the other albums don't have anything funny on it, because I tend to do funny stuff.
Once a comedian, always a comedian.
I mean, it's not all funny. Some of it's,
right,
very serious and touching and heartfelt. But some of it is, you can still do a song that tells a story, but that's funny. So there's comedy kind of sprinkled through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the general tone of it is, the general topic of each one is kind of distinct. So.
Cool.
So that's what I'm working on. That has been pretty keeping me busy for the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and each album I'm trying to make them very chock full of songs. So the first one, the comedy one, was almost 74 minutes, which is like the maximum you can get on a CD.
One of my co-host here, Luke Ski, likes to cram as much crap onto the CD as he possibly can.
It's a double CD, it's a triple CD, whatever. And same thing with the second one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to come up with 74 minutes for all of them, but so far.
Cool. All right, so give your stuff a plug. Where can we find you online?
You can find me at brianwoodbury.com. And
Easy enough.
That's the album is called Levity and Novelty.
Sounds great. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. I'm always looking for stuff to play on Manic Mondays. So.
Oh, excellent.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And we look forward to more stuff from you in the future.
Excellent. We'll keep up the FuMP.
Oh yeah. Well, it's what I do. So
it's what you do. All right.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
And there's no feedback this week. Yeah, tons last week, nothing this week. That's okay. However...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. And I have a job.
Yeah. Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Mikey Mason.
Woo! And
Tuesday's song is not yet posted. And I haven't heard from the artist, so I'm not sure what's happening. And next week's Spotify playlist topic is work and jobs. Just because, again, I wanted to play something off FuMP Volume 80, and I was like, oh, there's something I can make a topic about.
So, are the previous playlists that you've put up on that available to see somewhere?
I have a copy of them, all but one, which I think I forgot to write down. I can share that with you if you want.
Could you share me the list of the black artists that you did?
Sure. Yeah, I will do that.
I want to start a thread in the Dr. Demento Facebook group, and thread list of black comedy music acts, and just see if we can get that going.
You probably have better luck with individual songs rather than like full-time comedy music acts, but
yeah,
because I mean, Digital Underground isn't a comedy act per se, but I mean they've done funny songs, Yeah. Same with the Fat Boys.
I just thought this might be a good way to discover acts that we hadn't heard of,
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea.
Somebody
Yeah,
out there knows about something that we don't, so
yeah. I will share that with you. All right, Carla Ulbrich is at carlau.com or carlaulbrich.bandcamp.com. Brian Woodbury is at brianwoodbury.com and brianwoodbury.bandcamp.com. And you got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And nobody else is here.
Take me out to the ball game. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Yeehaw! I got me a new goddamn bucket.